Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Accountability Mentorship. I'm your host, Michael Fields, and today we're going to be getting into, are we our spouse's or partner's biggest fan? Or coach? Are we our partner's biggest fan or coach? Do we make our spouse or partners significant or feel significant and included in our businesses? If we don't make them feel included, what can we do to help our spouse or partner feel included in our businesses? I'm going to let you know right now, you should always include your spouse in your business, no matter what. By doing this, that makes them feel heard, makes them feel kind of a sense of, hey, he's helping me, he's letting me be a part of this business. By doing this, it not only helps them feel included, but maybe there's some suggestions and stuff they can give you down the line that you could also benefit from. What I like to do is I like to take my spouse out to lunch and stuff when I go with business partners. By doing this, we both have busy schedules, so to me, it helps kind of promote, hey, I get to spend time with you, kind of. And it's always important to have your spouse meet your business partners also. That way that they don't feel any kind of insecurities. The biggest thing we need to realize is to help coach or become your spouse's biggest fan, it includes including them into our businesses and our lives and our passions and dreams. And keeping them included in your job and life just in general. So if you don't have a business, it's still good to keep them in your work life. Tell them about what you do at work. Tell them about your friends at work. Tell them about what you do. And even though you may need that personal time, it's good to just tell your spouse all about this stuff, because not only gives you time to talk about work with her, gives you kind of a time to decompress, and she might give you some opinions that could help you with some issues that you have. Or he. Self-development material. Now, self-development material could help coach and be your spouse's biggest fan by not only helping yourself self-develop, but reading these books where they're at and discussing stuff with them, discussing the material with them will also help them feel included. And not only that, it'll get to the point in some instances that you and your spouse or your partner is going to start listening to the same stuff you can. And by doing this, if you listen to it kind of on your own time or read your book on your own time, then you can come back and discuss it. And by discussing and actually being involved together in this self-development material, it could definitely help out a lot of different relationships just in this instance. And if you do this, when they ask you about the material, give them enough material just to get them to kind of listen to the book or what you think they might benefit from. Don't overwhelm them. Once they're interested, a lot of different stuff that ideas and stuff you might have, they can benefit from that. So once they start listening to this book, start asking them, hey, when you get done with these chapters, can we talk about it? And we'll kind of discuss it. When being our spouses and partners' biggest fan and coach, don't be someone who is critical. Give your opinion in a subtle manner that's not going to discriminate them in any way, or it's not going to tear them down. We need to be their biggest fan, not their biggest. We need to be their biggest critic too, but we don't need to be to the point where we're suffocating them, if that makes sense. We need to give them kind of some suggestions and your opinion and kind of just leave it at that. Don't tear them down. We need to be their biggest fan and lift them up. When your spouse or partner asks you these questions, whatever questions they ask you, give some suggestions, but then tell them about all of the things they do good. Don't tear them down and say, well, you sucked at this, or this is why you failed, and you just never can figure it out. Don't say that stuff. We need to be uplifting. Give them your advice, but then give them your opinion, and then say, you can do this, and be supportive. Understand that your spouse probably isn't where you are self-development wise. So don't discriminate against them in that way either. In my instance, I've been listening to content for almost a year before my spouse started listening to stuff with me. So, obviously I have a lot of different material in my head. I'm not going to overwhelm them. I'm going to give them suggestions and kind of, when they ask for help or they ask for advice or they ask for what this means, then you can go to them and talk to them. But until then, don't overwhelm them. Give them the time to grow and just let it be as that. Coach them based on how you started. Be respectful and know that not everyone grows at a specific time either. And also be respectful for if they grow faster than you. Sometimes that happens. Don't have a grudge or don't feel like, oh my God, they're growing faster than me, and now I, don't have a hate for that. Allow them to grow at their own pace. Don't judge, and be that fan and be that coach for them. Be their biggest fan. Be their biggest coach. Pick them up when they're in low places and give them tools and affirmations to succeed. Tell them often what you're proud of them for. Celebrate the accomplishments that they accomplish and offer to make dinner or offer to take them to dinner or, for drinks. But obviously, we need to celebrate these accomplishments so that they can help stay on track as well. It's time that we involve these people into our lives like this, because our spouses and stuff, because a lot of people in this world, tell their spouses only a little stuff about their work, a little stuff about their business, and they keep them out. And that's why I feel a lot of times in marriage, people could be distant. So by doing all this stuff, we're going to create material that we could journal with them, walk through life with them, with this stuff. And not only is it going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit both of you and helping your marriage grow as well, or your partnership grow as well. The more we include our spouse or our significant other and partner into our business lives and work lives, the more they're going to respect our time and fully understand the time that we need to build these businesses and help other people. They're definitely going to respect that time because now they understand what you need to do to accomplish it. But in the same instance, if you're a coach and if you know how to help people find their passions and purposes, then you need to help them also develop to find their passions and purposes. Do this by asking them questions. Don't make them feel like a client or make them feel like you're overpressuring them or overwhelming them, but just ask them questions every now and then. If you see a time that they're like, you think that they need help, or, kind of a question that can just make them think and say, you love to do this. How do you think you would feel if you could do this at a full-time rate and be happy every single day of your life? That question will not only get them going, like their mind going, but they're going to be like, damn, I never even thought of that. So be your spouse's biggest fan, because there's a lot of questions that they don't even know how to ask themselves yet. Your spouse gets a free coach, at home. Your spouse gets a free fan, someone that's going to push them at home. So do that for them. If you're a coach or you're someone that's, doing that mentorship or you're teaching people, teach them as well. But like I said earlier, don't overwhelm them. And also, like I talked about earlier, you want to celebrate your biggest fans with your spouse, your biggest accomplishments with your spouse. You want to high five them, give them hell yeah. You want to make them feel like they are important. Make them feel special. Give them flowers. Give them gifts. Take them out for dinner. Give them a hug, letting them know that you are their biggest fan. You need to let them know that. And let them know you need to let them know that even how hard they fail, it doesn't matter how hard they fail. They need to know that you're going to be there for them. We also need to find our partner's biggest potential. We need to find their potential. A lot of times people don't even know their true potential. We need to find that and help them grow it. And sometimes they're going to surpass you, like we talked about earlier. So don't feel discouraged. Ask them for advice. Maybe, get to a certain point. If they pass you and become way more successful than you, maybe that you need to ask them some advice. Don't have too much pride to be like, I need to talk to my spouse about this because obviously she surpassed me or he surpassed me. Don't feel like you can't talk to your spouse. Don't have so much pride that you hate your spouse for it or whatever. You need to have a loving relationship with them and not be so prideful that we can't, talk to our spouse about this stuff. And lastly, like we touched on earlier, in every aspect, make them feel included. Thank you all once again for joining me today. If you like this podcast or may know anybody that might like this podcast, like and subscribe right now and share this information with them. Once again, thank you for listening. And remember, change yourself and find your purpose so that you can change the lives around you with your passions.